Before we adjourn for the evening, I have one final presentation to make. Could I be joined on the stage by Mrs. Penza? I'm sorry. She doesn't like being the center of attention. Since I got to Uxbridge High School, I've been impressed by many amazing professionals. Regardless of discipline, I know their commitment to students is unmatched. Their passion for their subjects is apparent in everything they do every day. Their desire to put students first is never something that we question. When I first got hired, something a principal will do is they'll ask for a copy of the master schedule. You want to see who's working where, what they teach, so they become more than just a bunch of names on a website. Then I came to Mrs. Penza's schedule. I could make no sense of it. There were sections being taught during school, there was a virtual class, there were classes after school. It's really confusing. We fixed that. My first day here, I was walking around the building. Mr. DeMeglio had lunch duty, and I walked past the board outside the auditorium, and I remember seeing all of these pictures on the board out in that bulletin board, reading biographies of musical students, some of whom are still in the audience tonight. And I said, wow, that's really something. You got a school of 500 kids, and like 10% of them do drama. Then I got here and I realized, well, actually, it's more like 20% of them do drama. We have more than 80 or 90 kids at times participating in the drama program. We have another 50 in the choir, 40 or 50 in the band. You lose count because some of them do both. There are ensembles, there are trips, there are concerts, there's teams with the middle school, there's choreography lessons for Claudes. Your words, not mine. There are Friends of Music meetings, there are clubs, there are pep band, and there are your hours. For hours, people. I pull out of here sometimes at well after 5 o'clock at night, sometimes later. Mrs. Penza is still here. She's here on Saturday. She's in the bleachers of the basketball games, trumpets blaring. She's rallying the band to make noise when the defense needs a stop on third down and short, and she's getting them playing when a touchdown is scored. Alumni come back to meet her, and they tell her that they've become music educators. They've become composers. They've become artists in their own right. And there's probably no greater compliment for an art teacher or a musician. She has the distinction of having taught a lot of our seniors at more than one school, and that doesn't happen often either. And when she speaks of Uxbridge High School music and drama, she speaks of it as a family. And it's not something she says. She lives it, she breathes it, she models it. I was going to sing something at this point, and then I realized nobody wants to hear that. And I really didn't want to get like Vito just got one. No. I'm sure there are some of you that would have liked me hear like, Aerosmith's Dream On or something, but Mrs. Penza is not one of them. So it is my pleasure to award this year's Educator of the Year Award to someone who constantly shines the spotlight on others, who inspires us all to see good, who brings a skip to our step, a warmth to our days, and a song to our hearts. The very talented, highly regarded, exceedingly hardworking, and incredibly gifted teacher of music at Uxbridge High School, the great Kathleen Penza.
Thank you very much. You may now be seated. I did not expect this. I have nothing. These seniors, the ones in the band especially, I have been teaching for 8 years. And I've had them since they were in 5th grade and didn't know how to tie their shoes. And now they're heading off to college. And it's remarkable. One wonderful thing about my job here at the high school, I came up when you guys were freshmen, and I knew the band kids, and that's who I knew. But through my teaching of music tech and guitar and drama, and I've met so many of you that aren't the music kids. You guys right there, my guitar men. You guys right there, Ryan and Nate and Josh. Loved every minute of it. It's just been my pleasure to know so many of you and to teach you every day. And my hours are long, but I love it, and I love you. And you can't take this job and not give these hours, because it's either 120% or go home, because the kids deserve everything. So I appreciate this very much, and I thank you all.